Hey, what's up guys, it's T-Bone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. Today we'll be taking a look at the Wendigo deck and see how they perform against the Legend Trial Boss as well as GvG fights. I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised by how well the deck did against Surtr. I'm using the same deck that I used during the event, which uses Bashmat to generate additional power gems and boost overall damage. I think Josephine would be okay to keep in the team since the boss's attack is relatively weak, so her heal should be sufficient. But I kept Tanu because the gems spawned from Josephine can interfere with the plans to keep the power gems on the board, which can mess up the timing as well. With this deck, you would maximize your total damage boost at intensity 760. With 1 Dynamite Dougal and 2 Iron Spine, that is a total boost of 13,000% to attack, and the damage it can deal is quite impressive. Our first attack takes place at intensity count 195. Prior to the cycle of power gems being spawned, I made sure to save as many power gems as possible from the previous round, and I was able to deal a total of 61 billion right from the start. Since Bashma has a 7-turn cooldown, I needed to wait for 3 full cycles of power gem passive spawns or 9 turns before activating everything again. One of the challenges of this event deck is that it can be pretty confusing when you try to incorporate the ultra rare card or the support card and try to manage all the different order of activation. So for me, I actually like the simplified approach with this setup because I just need to focus on quick matches and manage the passive spawns every 3 turns. If you're using the ultra rare card, just make sure to activate the card 1 turn before the power gems passive spawn. The second time I activate all the skills, the human intensity is at 330 and the attack boost is at 7,740. This time, the total damage was over 140 billion. By the time we reached intensity 735, which is close to the maximum intensity amount, Bashma also has enough intensity to fill the board with power gems and upgrades any existing ones, and our total damage from that turn was 233 billion. At this point, this damage is roughly capped, so it takes 2 more hits to take down the boss with over 8 seconds remaining. Keep in mind that each time we attacked it was a full board of power gems, so we lost time just waiting for the clock to stop too. Now the thing is, if you don't have 2 Iron Spine, or if you don't have a power gem spawner on your team, your total damage boost will be reduced, and so I would recommend that you add a gem spawner to the team to boost the overall gem match bonus. Skuka or Bodana are very good gem spawners, but they do end up filling up the board 3 turns in a row once the intensity is high, so you will lose more time. Drake Vipo only creates 5 gems, and when paired with Tanu would give additional 10 water gems, and it might not be a bad choice, so give it a try and hopefully this works for you. So this deck is definitely very efficient at taking down trial bosses. I would expect that it would take 2 total 3 key attacks against a neutral boss, and about 4 total attacks against Quetzalcoatl. Overall, I was quite happy with how it turned out. Next, I wanted to showcase a GvG deck that uses the event cards and is capable of taking down a 13,000 power leader defender card. This time, use Iron Spine as the leader to gain the 400% damage boost, and I included a 2-star card Stage Harbor Brute as the delay card. This can be farmed on stage 1-5 in the regular campaign. The main challenge here is to make sure that Stage can be charged up every turn, so I have Bodana as a gem spawner to help. The goal of this deck is to take out the first defender on turn 1 using the power gems spawned by the event cards, supported by the water gems spawned by relics. You'll need at least 3 relics that spawn water gems for this to work. The objective is to fill up the board as much as possible, so when swapping the power gems, you can deal enough damage to take out the defender in 1 shot, and then move on to the next wave. That's when the turn delayer would come in handy. Starting wave 2, the first card to activate is Stage, so you delay the boss for 2 turns. The risk here is that Bodana's intensity might not be high enough yet to generate enough gems, so during this time, try to match water gems if possible, to help charge up the turn delayer. After 2 turns, wait for the power gems to be spawned, and then activate the gem spawner to help fill in the board as well, so that your power gem matches are connected for maximum damage. On top of that, activate one of the battle skills of either Dynamite Dougal or Iron Spine. Their attack boost will guarantee you to take out the boss with no problems. As you can see here, the damage increase went from a couple of million to over 25 million per card, and you can take out the boss easily this way. In wave 3, the defender is the Mothership, which casts Birthright Chaos. While it does not hurt the team much, it does take away the ability to save up power gems, so in this situation just go ahead and match any water gems to help charge up the turn delayer. I play much slower in GvG by habit since I don't want to make any mistakes when swapping gems. Now, the attack boost from both Iron Spine and Dynamite Dougal is really impressive. With 20 plus million damage, I think it could take on a defender that is closer to 16 to 18,000 power, but the challenge is dealing enough damage on turn 1 to take out the boss, so with my setup, 13,000 is about the maximum that I can take on. What's nice is that if you have more copies of Dynamite Dougal, you should be able to deal even more damage on turn 1 than the deck that I'm currently showing. If you have a total of 4 event card combinations, you shouldn't even need a gem spawner, and you could potentially have less relics. Even though each of these cards have a 6 turn cooldown, since we always use a turn delayer card and wait for 2 turns before taking out a defender, they will actually recharge in time, so you can keep using them throughout the wave. This is really an easy way to take out some high level bosses just using these cards. So that's all I wanted to show in today's episode. Hopefully this is useful and helpful for you. As always, please leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I'll be back for the event preview of the next Dark Slayer event. Until then, take care. I'll see you next time.